Welcome to the OddsBreakers, number one place for shared, sharp betting information.
Welcome back to podcast 49 of 2021. I'm your host, Kiev O'Neill. You can follow me on Twitter at OBKiev. Follow us to the OddsBreakers and follow us on social media / the OddsBreakers. This episode is being brought to you by mybookie.ag. For a 50% sign up bonus, please visit MyBookie and use the promo code TheOddsBreakers. Terms, conditions, and location apply. If you'd like to help us out with our costs, sponsor the website and the podcast, we'd love to help you out. Please visit theoddsbreakers.com, click shop, and become a member. For the current low price of $24.99, you get my plays and premium plays before the line moves. Lock in that low rate before September when it goes up. You can also check out our other handicappers to support us at theoddsbreakers.com. And if nothing else, please visit theoddsbreakers.com and become a free picks newsletter subscriber. My friends, we have a great show for you today because fantasy football is back. And our guy D Nasty is back for another season to go over fantasy football. We're going to talk about the top players in each position group. We're going to talk a little bit about the top 24. We're not going to do any drafts or anything to bore the hell out of you. We're just going to try to give you information on which players we think are going to be the best for you to grab in the earlier rounds in the draft. So important for that. And my friends, it's August. I can't believe it's finally here. You're going to get your first game of NFL football this Thursday. You're going to turn the game on. You're going to watch about 20 minutes of the first quarter, and then you're going to get bored to death because you're going to see a bunch of no-names play, and there's not going to be so much excitement. But at the same time, you're still going to enjoy the first few minutes of that game. And obviously, if you have a betting angle on it, maybe you'll enjoy the whole thing. But preseason betting is coming upon us, and we've been profitable in the preseason for years now. There's a system that works in the preseason. I talked a little bit about it in, I believe, last week's podcast, but the preseason will continue to be profitable. And if you would like to jump on board early, I highly recommend that. Just check us out at theoddsbreakers.com. We already have a couple premium plays out, and there's a few more that will be made probably the end of this week and into next week. In NFL injury news, obviously the big one, Carson Wentz is hurt, his foot. He's got possibly some ligament damage. Maybe he's supposed to get a bone removed from his foot, but they say he's going to be out 5 to 12 weeks. It's a pretty broad range of time that he's going to be out, 5 to 12 weeks. Well, if it's 5 weeks, he's might even play the last week of preseason, and it'll probably be there for the first week of football, right? But if it's 12 weeks, he ain't coming back until the middle of October. So which is it? Now, there's a lot of speculation out there about Nick Foles because he won the Super Bowl with Frank Reich as an offensive coordinator with the Eagles. When he filled in for Carson Wentz, he knows the playbook somewhat, right? He'll probably be able to fit right in. But the problem is that he really sucked at quarterback last year. And I don't even know how much of fault that was his or how much it was Nagy's, but I watched him as a Bears fan, and he was missing wide open passes. So I don't know if the receivers are in the wrong areas or what. They didn't really seem like a lot of timing routes he was missing. He was just missing straight up look back and throw you the ball, cut in, down and out, button hooks, everything. And that, I don't think that's going to work out well if he comes on the Colts. Now, the biggest problem is the whole Wentz thing. I mean, let's face it. It would have been better for Carson Wentz if the Eagles never won that Super Bowl, right? He's having the year of his life, gets injured at the very end of the year. Foles comes in and wins the Super Bowl. I mean, how awful is that for him? Because he's always got to live up to that now, right? I mean, Foles is the one that got all the fame and fortune from Eagles fans for that. And now he's going to come back to play with Wentz again. You can't tell me that there's no animosity there. That is absolutely ridiculous for the Eagles to do that to Wentz, especially after they picked him up. What makes the most sense to me is probably trying to talk Phillip Rivers into coming back for a half a year. But, I mean, how is he going to do that? Yeah, I'm going to come back and start winning games and you're going to put Wentz in? I mean, plus, it's not like he's not going to demand a lot of money, like $20 million or $25 million. But at the same time, the Colts are ready to win right now. And if you remember, I did like their win total over 10. That was the team I was picking out of the AFC South. Now I have to lean back with the Titans. But the truth is, I didn't really pick the Colts so much for Wentz as it was for their defense and Jonathan Taylor and some of their receivers now healthy. I just think that they're the team that could surprise people more than the Titans, because the Titans still have a very bad defense. But now, unfortunately, I have to lean towards the Titans in that division. I'm not completely depressed over the win total we took over 10. I still think there's a very good shot that happens, especially for the fact that they play with Jacksonville and Houston, right? And they're also not playing the first place schedule from last year. The Titans are playing the first place schedule. So still don't like the under 10, but I just wouldn't take the over 10 right now. But we'll see what happens to Wentz and how bad his foot really is. Heck, maybe he does play in week 1. All right, my friends, let's get into a little fantasy football then with our guy, D Nasty. All right, now I'm really happy to bring back our fantasy football guru, Mr. D Nasty. Buddy, how is it going? Long time no talk.
I know, it's been a while. Good to be back. Yeah, just enjoying life and enjoying this summer.
Yeah, enjoying the summer a little bit. Your Milwaukee Bucks seemed to do pretty well, didn't they?
I'm just ecstatic, man. NBA championship, baby. First time in like 50 years. Just nice to see Giannis get that ring, man, the right way instead of like flip-flop. He's doing it with all the stupid teams, man. I don't need that stuff. Did it the right way. Just him and Middleton, baby, and some role players.
Oh, man, they did it the right way, too. You got to give it to them. Everyone's like, with all these injury excuses, well, then maybe you're not. If you get injured all the time, that's your own fault. It's like maybe you're playing too hard. Maybe you're too old. I don't know. It just kind of seems like some of the guys on Durant's team, they're just getting up there, And I don't know a ton about the NBA, but still, man, every year teams get injured. And there's injury luck, and there's teams with bad luck. You play as a team, you have good role players, you do it the right way, you're going to win it, right?
Oh, exactly. And then like Tom Brady, too, we'll get into him in a minute here. But yeah, he takes care of his body. That you can play as you get older. You just need to take care of your body. I think some of the NBA players just don't, and they don't care, or they just think they can just show up and play. So that's how I think a lot of injuries happen, too, as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the whole thing about that they're ripping AD. Yeah, it's like they're saying, oh, he doesn't take care of his body. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting this year. But this is not an NBA pod, so we'll get right back into football here. I've been looking forward to this because what's cool about fantasy football is that even if you sports bet, you're still going to apply some of the same stuff to it, right? It kind of goes back and forth. And some people that bet on sports don't like it because they don't want to play. They don't want to be thrown off by a team they own a quarterback or a receiver. And I see that. But for me, I like doing both, and you just kind of got to look at these two things as being mutually exclusive, right? Some sports bettors don't play it, some do. But as far as we're concerned, we love it both. And so we're going to get into a little NFL fantasy football. And we're not going to do a boring draft, Dave, right? We always tell people that's the most boring thing to do is listen to two people freaking draft.
Exactly.
So instead, we're just going to kind of go over what our rankings are here in the top 24. And I spent time on this and ranked my guys. And we're going to have some agreement and some disagreement. And if we have a sleeper, we're going to say it. And then later, when we go over our running back rankings, wide receiver rankings, quarterback rankings, tight end rankings, defense, and we're going to say our top ones there. and then we're going to say what our sleepers are. Our sleepers aren't necessarily going to be drafted early. A few of them are sometimes. But, in case you call it a sleeper because you're getting a big deal in like the 8th round. Right, David?
Exactly.
All right, well, let's get started here then, and I'll get going first. My top 6 here, pretty simple, pretty standard. It's going to copy most boards, but I've moved a few things around. Christian McCaffrey, of course, is number 1. Now, bad luck for people that drafted him last year, right? And I'm sure you had him in one of your leagues, Dave, because you play in like
I did.
20 of them or something. but I think that just shows you the importance of handcuffing people. And when we get to Saquon Barkley, that's the same deal. But Saquon's not even in my top 6. I have Christian McCaffrey, number 1. Just because catching and running the ball, Matt Rule offense. Dalvin Cook, number 2. He deserved it after last year. The guy is just a freak out there. Alvin Kamara, number 3. Part of the reason for Kamara is his pass catching ability as well, and they're going to rely on him more without Breeze. And I have John Taylor at number 4. A lot of people have him a little bit higher. I just think that with the Wentz injury and things like that, he's going to get even more play on the Colts. Number 5, I have DeAndre Hopkins for obvious reasons. He's still my number 1 receiver, and I think he deserves to be the first receiver picked off the board. And Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers is my number 6. David, who are yours?
All right. Well, yes, mine are a little bit different. Again, this is a half a PPR for those guys, people listening out there.
Right. Great point. Forgot to say that. Thank you, David.
So my number 1 is Christian McCaffrey, of course. He's a PPR beast. Definitely, he's going to be the number 1 guy. If he's healthy, he's definitely the highest scoring running back out there. Number 2, Dalvin Cook. Had him in several of my leagues last year, and he helped me win a few of them. So definitely Dalvin Cook. If he stays healthy as well, he could have a monster year just like last year as well. Derrick Henry I have at number 3. That might be a little bit surprising. I have him over Alvin Kamara, but with the quarterback uncertainty in New Orleans, and with Taysom Hill possibly taking and vulturing some of the TDs there and maybe not passing as much to him, I have Derrick Henry at 3. However, I do have Kamara at 4. Just like I said, the reasons why I just listed. Number 5, I do have Saquon Barkley. Several years, last year, the year before, he would have been a number 1, number 2, number 3 pick overall. So I still think he's in the top 5. So I'm ranking him at number 5 if he's healthy. I'll put that disclaimer on it right now. So they're saying he should be ready for the season opener, but they did add some weapons on offense too, and some nice receivers they added. So I think that offense is being a little bit better too. So Barkley at 5, Jonathan Taylor, UW alum at 6.
All right. So, yep, you just squashed my Barkley. So, well, I mean, he was 2nd last year, and I have Barkley low for a couple of reasons, and I might even be too low on him. But very standard what you got there. I mean, most people have it similar to that, right? So I'm not going to argue there. I'm going to start with my number 7 is Devontae Adams from Green Bay. I believe he's the 2nd best receiver out there to take, especially now that A-Rod is back out of his little complaining phase. And then we have Derrick Henry, the next one. And Henry, I do have lower, Dave, than most people. I have him 8. And it's because he's just had so much wear and tear on his body. I mean, so much, right? And he didn't catch a lot of passes.
Him off every year, though, but he ends up having a monster year.
I know, I know, but it's got to catch up. But then there's 19 catches. I mean, when you got Kamara catching 83, it's just, I don't know. Julio Jones is there now too. I don't know if that's going to mean anything, but Derrick Henry always shocks us, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is a top 3 back, but I just had to downgrade him a little bit. And Zeke, I have Zeke downgraded to 9th. I don't trust that Dallas offensive line, and I don't like McCarthy. I don't think he's a good coach at all. I think you probably agree.
I agree.
And number 10 is my first sleeper, Dave, Najee Harris. I think Najee is going to get a ton of play in Pittsburgh. And if you remember, Pittsburgh has had some huge running back performances under that offense there. And last time I checked, they still have the same head coach. So definitely like Najee there. And number 11, I have Nick Chubb from Cleveland. Don't need to say much about that. Number 12, I have Stephon Diggs, next receiver for Buffalo. What do you got?
All right. Well, I do go running back heavy, as some of you will listen to this, who are listening to this podcast will realize. I haven't put a receiver on my board yet, and I won't for a few picks here still as well. I just think running backs are harder to come by for the people that have a majority of the carries. There's a lot of running back committees now these days as well. So I did go a little bit more running back heavy in my rankings due to that, just so you're aware of that. Number 7, I do have Nick Chubb. They do like to run the ball a lot in Cleveland. Number 8, Aaron Jones. I think they're going to be passing the ball more to him this year as well. So I do look for a lot more checkdowns from Aaron Rodgers this year too. Aaron Jones, I think he's going to be more of a receiving back this year as well. They will be running the ball, I think, a little more too as well, just like they did last year. So I do like Aaron Jones at 8. Ezekiel Elliott I have at 9, same as you, Kiev. For many of the same reasons, their offensive line is shaky. I agree. I don't like Mike McCarthy as well. Dak Prescott is still coming off an injury. Now it's his shoulder. Now they're saying that he has problems with. So a lot of injuries with Dak. So I don't even know if he's going to make it through the whole year again. So that kind of concerns me as well. People will be stacking the box again. Number 10, my first receiver, I have Tyreek Hill. Number 11, I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot more, and they lost Sammy Watkins. So I do look for them to air it out still some more. 11, I have Joe Mixon, kind of a sleeper. A lot of people probably forgot about him after he's injured most of last year. I think he could be a top running back, though, and they added Jamar Chase in the draft, too. So I do like their offense, along with T. Higgins. So 11, I think Joe Mixon. Number 12, Devontae Adams. I had to get my Packer up there, too. So Devontae, I think he's still a co-number 1 with Tyreek Hill. But I dropped him a little bit just because I think they're going to run the ball a little bit more this year.
All right, fair enough. And it looks like you're a little bit higher on Tyreek than I was, but I have Tyreek coming up the next round. I'm just going to finish through 24 then here. 13, I have Travis Kelce, top tight end, clutch, doesn't seem to get injured ever, and he's always where Mahomes needs him, or Mahomes, or vice versa, right? He just has that little hook off, and Mahomes knows where to deliver it to him, and he's just an absolute beast. I mean, for a tight end this consistent, I've never seen it before. I guess Gronk maybe back in the day, but not even quite this much, in my opinion. Kelce is a first round, maybe second round pick, right? Next one I have Tyreek Hill. Same reasons, right? Mostly. I mean, Tyreek Hill's speed guy. He's my 4th receiver off the board. And I have an ex-sleeper here at number 15, J.K. Dobbins for Baltimore. I like the fact that Mark Ingram is gone. It kind of really opens up things for him. And I think a run-first team like the Ravens, he's going to get a lot of touches, and he's going to get some goal line work too. So I like.
And Gus is out COVID right now as well, so we will have to keep an eye on that too.
Who is?
Gus Edwards, the other running back, who shared carry last year.
I suspect he'll be back, but yeah, I mean, it's still early, but yeah, I mean, there's Gus Edwards and that's
Justice Hill.
Yeah, Justice Hill. Still waiting on him to do something in my dynasty league. All right, so next one we have Antonio Gibson for Washington. Gibson was pretty good last year. They fixed their offensive line a little bit. Yeah, I like Gibson there. He's kind of a sneaky one right there. It's not like I'm not overly high on him, but yeah, I mean, Gibson can have a great year if Washington turns out good. Austin Eckler I have next, and I'm lower on Eckler than a lot of places just because I think a lot of his stuff is deception-based. I'm not sure if he's all that great. I like Eckler, but when he's going to be the focus back, not so sure about it. Plus, he missed 6 games last year due to injuries. Next one I have is Calvin Ridley, and I'm a little bit lower on Ridley than others, but not seriously lower. I don't love Atlanta. They have a new coach, so there's just so many questions around that, and obviously their new tight end that they have over there, and Kyle Pitts could be taking some touches from him. Then the next one I have is DK Metcalf at number 19 for obvious reasons. The guy's probably the fastest receiver in the league from a top speed perspective. Everyone says the 40. I would take Tyreek Hill in the 40, and I'd take DK in the 100, right? And remember, he ran against those Olympic sprinters without even just, like warming, like practicing, right? It's not like he's a sprinter, right? And he was so close. He did a really great job, ran in the 10 seconds 10.6 or something for the 100. So that was just fantastic. Joe Mixon, I have at number 20 for obvious reasons. The Bengals do worry me on the offensive line, though. And then I finally have Saquon Barkley, Dave, and I just don't
Wow.
like.
You really dropped him a lot.
I know. I have him at 21, and maybe I'm a little too low. But the Giants, man, I didn't think he was doing all that great before the injury. And I'm still concerned about this injury. I'm hearing that there's a chance he could still miss a few weeks. And I think they're going to kind of play Morris a little bit, and they're going to ease him in more in the beginning. They're not going to give him the big workload. And I'm a little concerned for CMC for that too, just not as much. But Barkley, I'm a little worried about that. So I downgraded him here. He's a second-round pick. I guess he would be an RB2 for me, but I don't know. It's kind of bold for me to do this, but I would be nervous to select Saquon Barkley in the top 12. I would just be nervous about it. Sorry. What can I do? Next one, number 22, I have Terry McLaurin, and McLaurin's going to be cleaning up with Fitzmagic thrown to him. Then my number 23 is Justin Jefferson from Minnesota. What an amazing rookie year he had. He's already starting to outshine Adam Thielen over there. Just like Minnesota last year, their defense wasn't good. I expect their defense to not be that great this year. Probably improve, but still not that great. Probably get a lot of touches. And then finally, I have A.J. Brown at number 24. And obvious reasons there. But, A.J., he proved it last year. I think the marriage with Derrick Henry keeps him a little bit more wide open. I am a little concerned that Julio's there, though. So we'll see if that hurts him a little bit, David. What are your thoughts on your 12 or 13 through 24?
All right, great. Yeah, I definitely think having Julio there is going to hurt A.J. Brown's targets per game. So, I definitely dropped him because of that. And then Devontae Booker is the backup for Saquon, too. So he's the handcuff you want to take if Barkley were to miss any time as well. So, number 13, I got Najee Harris. He is one of my sleepers as well. I look for him to have a big year. They do breed a lot of good running backs there, like you were saying, so I do like him. Number 14, Travis Kelce. Some of the similar reasons you have. He reminds me of a Tony Gonzalez back in the day, but even better. Antonio Gibson, number 15. I like him as a sleeper as well. I think he could have even a better year this year. The Washington did add some offensive linemen, and they did add Curtis Samuel as a wide receiver in free agency. I do like him. I have Austin Eckler at 16. He's still a good PPR guy. His injuries in the past do worry me, though, still, so I dropped him because of that. DeAndre Swift, number 17. I think he could be the lead back for Detroit. However, I do think Jamal Williams could be a sleeper as well. That's one of the sleepers that I do like in Detroit. He could take some carries away from DeAndre Swift, but I do look for Swift to be the lead back there and get a lot of receptions out of the backfield as well. Stephon Diggs at 18. He was a stud last year. What can you say? One of Josh Allen's favorite targets. So I look for him to continue a lot of the same this year.
I'm a lot higher on Diggs than you, I think. I'm in the top. Yeah, I'm in the top 12. Okay, all right, fair enough.
I just have a lot of running backs up there, so that kind of pushed him down a little bit too. And then I have another running back here at 19, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's one of my sleepers this year too. A lot of people forgot about him. He started off on fire. He was one of the top running backs. He was like a top 5 running back through the first 6-7 games. No one realizes that, and he didn't even score a touchdown. He was still a top-rated running back. Then he had injuries, and then they signed Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's gone now. He's going to get a majority of the carries. That's one of the top-ranked offenses in the league. I look for him to have a bounce-back year, and he could be a nice sleeper, too, this late in the draft. Chris Carson, another running back I know from Seattle. I think he could have a good year if he stays healthy. Seattle loves to run the ball there, so I look for him to have a good year. J.K. Dobbins, number 21. As the reasons you were saying, they love to run the ball in Baltimore. Edwards has COVID right now, and Ingram gone. I do like him right here. Number 22, Calvin Ridley, one of my favorite receivers. I would have him higher if I didn't have so many running backs in here, but Calvin Ridley is one of my favorite receivers. I have him in quite a few of my dynasty leagues too, so I do like him this year, especially with Julio gone. He's going to even get more targets, I think. Even with Pitts there, he's still going to get quite a few targets, I think. Josh Jacobs at 23. Even though they did sign Kyle Drake there, Drake has been banged up. Jacobs is still going to be the horse there, bell cow. So I definitely like him still at 23. 24, I have David Montgomery. your bear there for you, Kiev. I finished it off nicely for you. Here, Montgomery. I loved him last year. He helped me win one of my playoff, several of my playoff games last year, and helped me win a Super Bowl and one of my leagues, my top money leagues. So I'm going to give him a lot of love for that. And he played awesome. Like down the stretch, the last 6 games, he's probably one of the top running backs in the league.
Yeah, I mean Montgomery, I'm higher on him, but I mean not higher than you, but I mean like I have him real below Edwards-Helaire. Edwards-Helaire was my next one if I would have went to 25. So, and then Montgomery's right there at 28 or something like that. So I think Montgomery has a great chance. The question is, is the Bears going to get Tyreek Hill or Tyreek going? Cohen. And I don't know, Sam. I'm starting to remember all my NFL names right now. I know Tyreek.
Damian Williams now too, so Damian Williams is actually going to get some carries.
Yeah. He's going to get some carries, and they drafted that guy from Virginia too. So Virginia Tech.
Bear, Kilo or Bear. He's a nice sleeper too, as well.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's just so many people, but all great stuff. So next segment, we're just going to go through our top running backs, right? We're just going to blow through 36. Now, we're not going to say just how we talked about some of them already. We're not going to say much. We're just going to say the names, really. And if there's something to say, we'll say it just for time's sake, Dave. But this is obviously mimicking my top 24. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, Ezekiel Elliott, Najee Harris, Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, Antonio Gibson, Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, Saquon Barkley, Mike Davis is now right there. So I guess I was wrong. I actually have Hilaire a little bit below Mike Davis. I have Mike Davis, then Hilaire. I like that Mike Davis is going to get a massive amount of carries at Atlanta. Now, he also could lose his job in Atlanta, but Edwards-Helaire still had that injury last year, and they still have a few guys behind him. So we'll see what happens. Then I have Miles Sanders at 17, Josh Jacobs at 18, which I might flip those two yet. I almost like Jacobs a little bit better than Sanders. David Montgomery is 19. Darrell Henderson is 20. DeAndre Swift is 21, just because he plays for the cruddy Lions, man. I mean, he's going to get some pass catches, though. I will say that. And then I have Chris Carson next, 22. Chase Edmonds, 23. I think you're going to get some big value with Edmonds, too. I almost think that, yeah, I might be too low on Chase Edmonds. I might have to up him past DeAndre Swift there, maybe even past Darrell Henderson. Now, Darrell Henderson obviously got the huge bump because of the Cam Akers out for the season Achilles, but there's a chance that they're going to do a running back by committee at the Rams, a good chance of it. So I'm concerned about that. Raheem Mostert, Dave, your favorite. Yeah, I'm going back. I didn't do it as early as I did last year, Dave. Okay, but you gave me a lot of shit for Raheem Mostert, and hey, your guy also from Denver got hurt too. Your receiver there, so we gave it to each other, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll see if he stays healthy. But I mean, the Niners can be a great running offense. Myles Gaskin, I have next at 25. Kareem Hunt at 26. Travis Etienne at 27. I think Etienne's going to take over. I got Damian Harris, then James Robinson, right, for Jacksonville. But I think Etienne's going to take over. Pick your poison there, right?
Exactly.
And then Tampa's fucking debacle here. We got, Ronald Jones, and then you got Leonard Fournette. I mean, who do you want there? That's a tough one, man, right? I mean,
I know.
That's just interesting to me how that's going to work. I mean, for all we know, they're both going to be beasts and be top 12 or something. Maybe I'm too low on them, but I just couldn't pick which one. I tried. I struggled with this. I have David Johnson because he's probably Houston's only hope. And then Melvin Gordon. And I'm worried about Melvin Gordon that he's going to lose to Javonte Williams at some point. We don't know. But I think this is Melvin Gordon's last year there anyway because of the money,
Yeah, I agree.
And then I have Devin Singletary and Zach Moss right next to each other. That's another problem I have. I'm hearing great things about Zach Moss now, Dave. So,
Well, I'll talk about that in a minute here when I take my turn here.
okay, well then, if that's the case, then Michael Carter for the Jets is my next one, and that's number 36. So, there you go. So, why don't you go ahead and tell me like it is?
All right, sounds good. Well, Devin Singletary is actually one of my sleepers, actually. I'll just take that right off the bat because he has looked impressive in camp so far. That he added some weight, and they say he is a lot quicker as well. So they say he's just been wowing all the coaches right now. So he's been getting glowing reviews from camp right now. He came just into camp just in really good shape. So they're saying they really, really are impressed with how he came into camp and how much he's worked over the offseason. So he might be a guy that you really want to take a look at, and a lot of people are forgetting about just because of Zach Moss. So just want to throw that in there quick. But my number one, Christian McCaffrey. I did switch up my little running back rankings a little bit, even from my overall rankings, just because I think PPR played a little bit more into my just running back rankings did overall, because overall you're looking at your entire league and all the players. So number one, McCaffrey. Number two, Barkley. I have number three, Kamara. Number four, Cook. I have number five, Derrick Henry. Number six, Ezekiel Elliott. Number seven, Aaron Jones. Number eight, Antonio Gibson. Number nine, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I have number 10, Austin Eckler. Number 11, Nick Chubb. Number 12, Jonathan Taylor. Number 13, David Montgomery. Number 14, Miles Sanders. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Miles Sanders this year as well. They're going to run a lot, especially with Jalen Hurts there. So he's definitely a guy I think he could have a good year. DeAndre Swift, 15. Number 16, Najee Harris. I have number 17, Joe Mixon. Number 18, J.K. Dobbins. Number 19, Myles Gaskin. A lot of people are sleeping on him as well. He might be a nice sleeper this year. He started out really well last year, so another guy you want to keep your eye on. Number 20, Chris Carson. Number 21, Kareem Hunt. Number 22, Josh Jacobs. Number 23, Mike Davis. He is a sleeper for me as well. I think Mike Davis could have a very good year if he keeps the starting job. Like you said, he could very easily lose the starting job, but he's definitely a sleeper if he can hold on to it because the Falcons are going to score a lot.
And I'll tell you this, David, just to piggyback on that, if he does lose his starting job, he's losing it to somebody that's not predicted at all. Like, there's nobody that scares you there from a name perspective, right? Right?
Right. They're saying the undrafted rookie Javian Hawkins is the guy to watch there. Otherwise, there's Quadre Ellison too. But no, yeah, like you said, it's his job to lose essentially. But if he does lose it, that's pretty poor on his part if he does lose it, because that offense is going to score a lot of points because their defense is just horrendous. So they're going to be in a lot of games just trying to play catch up and trying to score points. So number 24, Travis Etienne. 25, Chase Edmonds. I do like him a lot as well, like we were talking about before. Number 26, Darrell Henderson. Number 27, here's one of my sleepers right now, Javonte Williams, number 27 for the Broncos. I do think he takes over for Melvin Gordon. Like you said, it's Melvin Gordon's last year there probably. A lot of people in camp have been talking about Javonte Williams. I think he will be starting before the midseason, so I like him as a sleeper at number 27. 28, Devin Singletary. Already discussed him. 29, Melvin Gordon. Just like I said, Javonte Williams will probably take over mid-year, but before that, it will be the Melvin Gordon show. So I got him ranked there. Number 30, Michael Carter, who I do like as a sleeper. I think he'll have a good year. I do have Raheem Mostert at number 31. I got him thrown in here just for you, Kiev, so he can make my top 3 picks.
You don't want to be wrong. That's your problem. You just don't want to be wrong. I mean, you'll be less wrong than me since I'm at 26, right? Or 24.
Number 32, David Johnson. I do agree with you what you said. Philip Lindsay, actually, though, is a nice sleeper here, though, too. I think Philip Lindsay, everyone forgot about him in Denver. He'd always put up good numbers there. So I think he could actually take over David Johnson's starting role. They might actually be sharing with him before too long in Houston as well. They will be running the ball a lot, too, because Deshaun Watson, I don't think there's any way he plays this year. Naheem Hines at 33. Just for his pass catching ability. J.D. Missick, pass catching ability as well in PPR league. Number 35, Damian Harris. A guy I really like. Bill Belichick even came out almost to say that he is going to be his number one running back this year, which is unheard of for a Bill Belichick team. So they are saying that Damian Harris could have a big year, and he's going to be the number one guy there. And he's a legit talent, and he had very good games last year when he was playing towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
And
careful what you wish for right there. And I do have Damian Harris at 28. But seriously, it's New England. I mean, that's just running back hell. You can get freaking goose egged with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, you never know there, but there's a lot of reports saying that he's going to use him as a number one this year, but we'll see. Like you said, I'll probably be proven wrong on that, but it's just a hope and a prayer that he does.
Oh, he might the first week. He might the first week. Then he'll say something snarky in practice or something like "quit filming the other team" or something, and then he'll be in the doghouse for the rest of the year.
Exactly. And then number 36, I have a tie. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones both are at 36, just for the reasons we discussed before.
Well, there you go. So you see it the same way as me then. So I did forget to mention my sleepers, so I'll mention mine real quick. And you did already say one of them, David, and that was JVN Hawkins. I have him up in the 50 ranges, like 55, where a lot of other places have him in the 70s. I think there's a really good chance he could get a lot of carries there. I have Mark Ingram for Houston, actually, as somewhat of a sleeper. Now, you said Philip Lindsay, and that worries me a little bit too. But Mark Ingram has always just been a bullish running back, for his size. Why would they not use him if they paid him a little bit, I don't know.
He's really been prone over the last couple of years, though, too. So I don't see him staying healthy the whole year. And like I said, everyone writes off Lindsey, but I think before the end of the year, he'll be your number one running back.
It just sounds like pick one off the freaking waivers almost.
Exactly.
I mean, Jesus, this is tough. But anyways, Chuba Hubbard, I have him as a sleeper just because he's going to get carries. They are not going to burn out CMC that much. CMC was an 80 to 90% snap guy. I think he's going to go to a 70% snap guy, because they don't want to injure him again. So, in my opinion, Chuba Hubbard is going to be live, and he's going to get all that garbage, and get some garbage time too. So I like him. And then Darrell Williams, I actually have for Kansas City. Yeah, I have him more of a sleeper than other people do. I have him probably about 15 spots up in around the 45 range for Darrell Williams. I think he's the next guy behind Edwards-Helaire. And then I have Joshua Kelly. I have him in the lower 40s, and I think he can take over for Eckler. He struggled a
little bit last year, though. That was nothing that worried me. But I think now that he's had a year in the offense, I think he will be better. So I do really like that sleeper. Actually, I do have one more after you're done then as well.
Yeah, I am done. That's my sleepers.
Okay, so I have a deep sleeper here. It's Kenneth Gainwell. All my dynasty leagues, I've drafted 4 or 5 dynasty leagues already, and he's actually been going really high. Reports are out of camp that he could actually be the backup to Miles Sanders and take over Boston Scott's backup role. Maybe not right away, but they're saying if something happens to Sanders, he could actually be the guy starting over Boston Scott. So he's my deep sleeper actually for running backs is Kenneth Gainwell for the Eagles.
Wow, over Boston Scott. That's interesting. Okay. Where would you take him compared to Javion Hawkins for Atlanta? Who would you take first?
I would still go Javion Hawkins before him, just because Boston Scott still is there. There's really no one to block Javion Hawkins in Atlanta. I don't see Quadre Allison blocking him from playing over him. So, but Kenneth Gainwell, they do really like him there, though. He did have some monster years at Memphis, so definitely got to keep your eye on, though, as a deep sleeper.
All right, good stuff, man. Let's move on to receivers then. Blow through these. Number 1, I have DeAndre Hopkins because I mentioned that before. Devontae Adams, number 2. Stephon Diggs, number 3. Tyreek Hill, number 4. Calvin Ridley, number 5. DK Metcalf, number 6. Terry McLaurin, number 7. Justin Jefferson, number 8. Mike Evans, number 9. I was higher on Mike Evans before, but they just have too many playmakers on Tampa. A.J. Brown, number 10. And Keenan Allen, number 11. Allen Robinson, number 12. Julio Jones, number 13. Julio and Allen were pretty close, in my opinion. I don't know who I'd take there. I know the Bears have... I mean, now that Miller's gone, maybe Allen gets more play, but they still have Mooney there.
Yeah.
So Allen Robinson's in a contract year. Julio Jones just signed one, right? Did they redo his contract, or he still got time
I think they
left or
did.
something? Yeah, something like that. Or it will be done. Can't remember. Robert Woods, I have next. And I would almost consider, now that Matthew Stafford's throwing him the ball, to move him up a little bit. I'll still think more about that. But Robert Woods has kind of screwed me in a couple leagues last year.
I hear you.
Kenny Galladay's next for the Giants. He's going to get most of the pass catches, in my opinion. I have DJ Moore next for Carolina. I think that he's going to have a good year. Jamar Chase is my next one, a sleeper. He's in the 20s, and a lot of people, I have him at number 17. And I just think Joe Burrow's going to throw him the ball. I think that T. Higgins is going to take a little bit of a back step because of their buddiness, right? Next one I have is Odell Beckham. Even though people are lower on him this year, I'm a little bit higher on him. Cooper Kupp I have is next. Chase Claypool for Pittsburgh is my number one receiver for Pittsburgh. I had to move him up to my number one for Pitt, in my opinion. Adam Thielen I have next at number 21. CeeDee Lamb, number 22, right next to Amari Cooper, number 23. Don't know which one's going to be the bell cow for receivers in Dallas this year. Chris Godwin, Dave's boy, I have number 24. You loved him last year. He sucked until the playoffs. Number 25, Tyler Lockett. Number 26, Brandon Ayuk. I think he has a good shot to be good, especially if his new quarterback's going to be good. Number 27, Deontay Johnson from Pittsburgh. Number 28, Juju Smith-Schuster from Pittsburgh. Don't know what to do with those guys either. Juju was always the guy, but I just think Chase takes over this year. He's just so talented and probably a little bit more vocal. Then I have T. Higgins at number 29. And then I have Devontae Smith. And I know he's injured for 2 weeks here for Philly, but I think he's going to take over and be the top receiver in Philly quick. He's just the fastest guy there. Speedster, was amazing with Alabama. Jalen Hurts already knows him. They're buddies. They played together for years. You got to put Devontae Smith there. DJ Chark I have next, number 31. Number 32, Robbie Anderson for Carolina. Number 33, I have Tyler Boyd for Cincinnati. We can't forget about Boyd. And number 34, Jerry Jeudy for Denver. And then Cortland Sutton, your boy from last year that got injured, 35. Then Deebo Samuel at number 36. So Michael Thomas didn't even make it for me because of that dang injury, man. But he could be a great guy for the freaking playoffs. But my problem with Michael Thomas is we still don't know the quarterback situation that well, and that could hurt him.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
All right, who do you got?
All right. So number one, I have a co-number one. I have Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams at my number one and number two. So they can both be a number one pick. Adams with Rodgers back, he's definitely going to get his balls thrown to him in his targets. Number three, I got Stephon Diggs. Number four, Calvin Ridley. Like I said, I really like Ridley. I had him quite a few leagues last year. DeAndre Hopkins, another guy I really like. Both those guys could be switched around or flopped around or even a little bit higher possibly. Both Ridley and Hopkins both helped me win quite a few leagues last year. DK Metcalf, I love him. I'll be trying to get him in most of my leagues. Justin Jefferson, he was a beast last year in his rookie year. Number 8, A.J. Brown. Number 9, Keenan Allen. I don't remember where you had him, but he's a guy a lot of people forget about. He has a good year, and Justin Herbert likes to throw to him a lot. Mike Evans, number 10. Like you said, they have a lot of guys there, but he still had quite a few touchdowns last year. Brady likes to look for him in the red zone. So, number 11, Amari Cooper. Number 12, Terry McLaurin. I think Fitzmagic gets him the ball quite a bit. Your Bear, number 13, Allen Robinson. I think he's in a contract year, isn't he? This is his last year of his contract, isn't it?
That's correct.
And then Robert Woods at 14. I think with Stafford throwing to him, he's going to be a little bit better this year. He did screw me in the past, though, as well, so I'm a little sour on him still. Number 15, Adam Thielen. Number 16, CC. I think he will be the backseat to Amari Cooper. That's why I have Cooper a little bit higher. Number 17, Tyler Lockett. They think they will still throw the ball there quite a bit with Russell Wilson. 18, DJ Moore. I think he'd be the number one there, even though we have a poor quarterback throwing to him there as well. 19, Julio Jones. 20, Cooper Kupp. 21, Chris Godwin. It pains me to put him that high, but I think he will get some balls from Brady thrown to him. 22, Odell Beckham. I think he could have a bounce back year this year. So I do got him ranked a little bit higher, but I think Mayfield will look his way. 23, T. Higgins. I have him a little bit higher. This is one of my sleepers. I think Higgins could have a great year. Everyone's going to be talking about Jamar Chase, but I think Higgins could have the bigger year than Chase, actually. So he's got a year in the offense already, too, and he has chemistry already with Burrow, so I think he could actually have a really good year. 24, Cortland Sutton. 25, Kenny Galladay. I think he could have a good year. 26, Brandon Ayuk. And then 27, Jamar Chase. 28, Chase Claypool. I do really like him a lot. He'd be one of my sleepers as well. I definitely think he takes over the number 1 or number 2 spot there, too, as well. I think Juju kind of takes a back seat to both him and my next pick, Deontay Johnson. I got the Chase and Deontay back-to-back. I think those guys are going to be the 1 and 2, and I think Juju's going to be behind them. DJ Shark at 30. Brandon Cooks at 31. This is going to be a kind of an iffy pick probably, but it depends on what their quarterback situation is. But if Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback, I think he could be a solid quarterback and get Cooks the ball. So he's going to be their number 1 there. They really don't have anyone else anymore. So I think he can put up some good numbers there. 32, Deebo Samuel. I think Garoppolo will still be a solid quarterback for them. I don't think Lance starts until later in the year. Robbie Anderson at 33. He had a good year last year. 34, Juju. He could even be a little bit lower, too, if the other two do take over like we think they will. 35, Jerry Jeudy. I do like him in Denver. And then number 36 is going to be Curtis Samuel, one of my sleepers as well. He had a great year for Carolina last year, and he's going to be the number 2 in Washington now, so I think he can have a very good year. And then my 2 sleepers would be Mike Williams from the Los Angeles Chargers. I think anyone that saw him play last year, if he was healthy, his scoring ability in 2018, he had 10 touchdowns in 2018. His ADP is constantly rising. He could have, my predictions for him are about 65 catches for 941 yards and about 8 touches, or 8 TDs. So I think he'd have a really good year. My other sleeper is going to be Jacoby Myers. I think he could be with Edelman gone now. I think he could be their number 1 there possibly. He's a guy I really like as well. He did have a very good year last year. He really did well over the final 11 games last year. He had 58 catches for 722 yards in those final 11 games. So I definitely think he could have a good year as well.
No, I like it, man. Great point on Mike Williams too. You know, I mean, now that they have a quarterback, Justin Herbert over there, that could happen. Funny that you didn't say Michael Thomas, did you?
No, I did not.
yeah, man. Wow. I hope we don't get burned on this, but I don't know. Is he out 6 weeks or more? I heard 6. Maybe, that's too low. I don't know. That's half your regular season in fantasy.
Yeah, that's tough. I have Michael Thomas at actually 42, so he would have been within my next 6 picks, but so I do still have him up there, but like you said, the injury kind of concerns me, though, and he did have that injury last year that held him out almost half the year or 3/4 of the year last year. So
and quarterback, yeah, right.
And quarterback too. If Winston starts, he could be very good when he comes back. But if Hill's a starter, but Hill actually did throw to quite a bit last year, so he did like throwing at Thomas last year. I mean, I know several games he had over 10 targets that he had to Thomas when he was playing with Hill. So I think Winston's the better quarterback for Thomas, but I think Hill will still get him the ball.
I mean, the worst thing that could happen is they pull a AJ Green, and if they're losing all their games, he doesn't play at all. Oh, I got burned on AJ that year. Oh my God, that was awful.
Yeah, I called that too. I told you I didn't like AJ Green that year.
Oh God, that was bad luck though. Well, I mean, my sleepers are Henry Ruggs. I mean, I think that Well,
I like that one.
Yeah, because they lost Nelson Aguilar to New England, so he's going to be the man there now, right? So Ruggs is a sleeper. I moved him up like 13, 14 spots from the average. And Emmanuel Sanders, believe it or not, is going to get a lot more play in Buffalo than people think. I mean, why is he so low? I think some people have Cole Beasley ahead of him. I don't get that. So Emmanuel Sanders, I think, is the guy that I'd rather have than Cole Beasley.
Yeah. And then for the Raiders, too, they do have Brian Edwards, the rookie, too, they're saying that they really like right now. And then John Brown actually did come over from Buffalo, and he might be the other starter there, too. So we just got to keep an eye on that situation. So it's just going to be a matter of who's going to be starting there. If Brian Edwards is opposite him or if John Brown starts. So they got 3 receivers that all could possibly they're talking about starting. So I do like Ruggs there as well.
Right. He's a speedster. It's funny. Yeah. We even mentioned Marquise Brown either. What the heck? That doesn't say a lot for Lamar's throwing ability if we're not mentioning Marquise Brown. Maybe go ahead.
One of my deep sleepers is actually Tylan Wallace. Keep your eyes open in the end of drafts. Keep your draft boards open for this guy. They drafted him in the later rounds, like 4th, 5th round, but they really do like this kid a lot. They're saying that he could actually possibly start by mid-season to the year end. They're saying that Marquise Brown is injured right now, and Rashad Bateman, their other top pick at wide receiver, is injured too as well. So he's been getting a lot of looks in practice, and they really do like him. Like I said, he's a deep sleeper though, but end of the year you might be hearing his name.
I'll give you another deep one is Elijah Moore from the Jets.
Yes, I like him too.
I'm hearing some really good things that he's going to take over the number 1 role possibly there. And I know they have Mims there, but Mims didn't seem – he's not that vocal. I think Elijah Moore is more vocal. And for right receiver, they get the ball, right? So
right, Mims doesn't know how to run routes either, they're saying. He's a bad route runner, and they're saying he's 3rd on the depth chart right now. So I definitely agree with you on that.
Is Antonio Brown going to take a back seat this year to Godwin and what's his face? Evans. Yeah. I wonder.
That's hard to say. I don't know. Because I think Brady really likes Brown a lot for some reason. He's the one who wanted him to come on to the Buccaneers last year.
Right. And that's another one that I scratched my head on. So there's a few of those that you got to scratch your head on a little bit here. Well, let's blow through the quarterbacks here. We just kind of go through like 15 of them here. Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Josh Allen's pretty obvious. Number 2. Kyler Murray, I have at number 3. I just expect a massive year for him. And Russell Wilson, I have it next at number 4, and I'm a little higher on him than anyone else. He's kind of old, faithful, reliable. He doesn't get injured, Lamar Jackson's number 5. Justin Herbert's number 6. Aaron Rodgers is number 7. And I just think that the Packers can score with running the ball so well. I'm not sure if Aaron Rodgers is going to be needed a lot in the 4th. Ryan Tannehill, I have after Aaron Rodgers, number 8. Matt Ryan, number 9. I'm higher on Matt Ryan than a lot of places have him at 14. I think he's going to be able to throw to Pitts and a couple of those other guys there, Ridley, right? And they're going to be down on some games. He's going to get his. Matt Stafford, I have next. I just can't put Matt Stafford high. I don't know why. I'm worried about they use deception and stuff for the Rams, McVay. So, in my opinion, that's where Stafford should be. Then I have Joe Burrow next, which will probably have to throw the ball a ton this year, but watch out for him to get hit. Tom Brady, I have number 12. Number 13, I have old Dak Prescott. A lot of people have him in the top 6, top 7. Not for me. I don't trust Dak. And then number 14, I have Ben Roethlisberger because Big Ben is always got guys to throw to and always gets his points. Rarely ever injured. Big guy. Then I have Kirk Cousins, believe it or not, at number 15. I don't know why, but I don't know. It's just like, where else do you put him, right? I mean, Cousins, he got a lot of points last year in some games, And the rest is like Baker Mayfield. I guess, him and right next to Cousins, but Fitzmagic could suck. I've seen him bad as a starter in the past. Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa is not that good. Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones. My sleepers, I guess, are Justin Fields because I think he will take over for Andy Dalton at some point here, and then he might be a good quarterback for the Bears. I mean, if he's what some of the hype is, and Mac Jones is my other sleeper because I don't trust Cam Newton, man. I think Cam Newton's a bust, and I think he loses his job. He's just too diva-ish, in my opinion. I think Mac Jones is going to take over. I don't know. Unless Cam's win some games, but Cam's been bad the last few years, so I don't trust it.
I like it. Yeah, I agree. Number 1, I got Pat Mahomes. Everyone knows why. He's the best quarterback in the league. Helped me win several of my dynasty leagues last year. Josh Allen at number 2, who might be a little surprising, but Josh Allen put up some nice numbers last year. He's got a good offense. Number 3, Kyler Murray. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, I do have Dak Prescott. There is a little asterisk here, though, if healthy, though. So keep an eye on that. Justin Herbert at 6. I do like him a lot. I think he did really well this year. He put up huge numbers last year in his rookie season. 7, Russell Wilson. Number 8, I got A-Rod, Drama Queen. And then
how's that feel saying that, Dave?
Yeah, don't even get me started on A-Rod, man. I think he's a whiny little bitch, is what I think this whole situation. But anyways, I regress. So number 9, Tom Brady. Number 10, Jalen Hurts. He's definitely one of my sleepers this year. I think he could have a big year. He's going to be boomer bust, I think, though. Either he'll be really good or he'll be just bad. 11, Ryan Tannehill. 12, Joe Burrow. I think he could have a good year if he stays healthy. He's got a suspect line, like you said, though. 13, Matt Stafford. I think he actually is going to do well with the Rams, but like you said, I just can't rank him that high, though. Everyone looks down on Matthew Stafford, but he always puts up good numbers. 14, Trevor Lawrence. 15, Kirk Cousins. He did have a solid year last year. And then number 16, Matt Ryan. And then my 2 sleepers are going to be Tua. I think with Will Fuller there and with Jalen Waddle, I think he got some added people on offense. I do like him. I think he could bounce back this year with a full year under his belt. The other guy, my other deep sleeper, is going to be Zach Wilson. He's going to start from day one. He's got some added weapons on offense in Michael Carter and Elijah Moore. I think he could actually have a good year as a rookie.
We have some young sleepers there, so there you go.
Yeah.
Both of us do. I'm worried about Zach Wilson's size. And they're a run-first offense, probably with Robert Saleh being their coach. But we'll see. They have some really good playmakers there in Elijah and Mims and a few other guys there. So we'll see what happens. Elijah Moore, that is. All right, cool. Let's move on then. Tight ends, and obviously Kelsey, number 1. I still have George Kittle, number 2. I mean, he still deserves it. He was amazing in 2019. And yeah, he was injured last year, but the dude's a beast. He's just a baller. He loves football. He's going to be awesome next year no matter what. Kyle Pitts, I actually have number 3, man. I upgrade Kyle Pitts. He's the real deal. I've seen him in Florida. He's big. He's a good route runner. He has it all, and they're going to use him. They didn't draft him that high to not use him. And then I have Darren Waller, the baller, right after him, because Waller had an amazing second half last year. I have Mark Andrews after Waller, who took a step back last year. A little concerning. I have Tyler Higbee at number 6 after him. And then I have TJ Hawkinson at number 7. Some people are higher on Hawkinson. I can't have anybody in Detroit in the top 5. Are you kidding me?
To throw to, though, now, so I think he's going to be one of their main targets here with Galladay leaving, because their receivers are just garbage. They have Aram Brown as their sleeper wide receiver rookie, and then they have Rashard Perryman. That doesn't instill a lot of confidence for me.
Well, if the Bears, the Vikings, and the Packers don't notice that and stop them, then that's just shame on them, I guess, because they should know that they have nobody to throw it to. I have Robert Tonyan at number 8.
Like it.
And he could be even better than that. Tonyan was fantastic last year. I thought he was a nice little special player for Green Bay. Seriously, I like Tonyan. Number 9, Logan Thomas. 10, Evan Ingram, if he ever shows up again. Who knows? Number 11, I think, Mike Gesicki. Is that where I'm at? Number 11. And Mike Gesicki was really good last year. And then I have some sleepers after this. I have Austin Hooper for Cleveland. They rank him low, but I'm higher on Austin Hooper. I think he's going to come. And I have Anthony Fursker from Tennessee. I got to tell you, after the Jonnu Smith left, he got just a ton of play at Tennessee. Well, now it's all going to Anthony Fursker, So he's a sleeper for me at number 13. Number 14, Irv Smith from Minnesota. He's going to get all the Rudolph stuff that after he left. And then Jared Cook I have at number 15 for the Chargers. I think he's going to have a good year. They threw it to Derrick Henry a lot before. I know they have a new coach, but I expect Jared Cook to make some noise. Then, some of the busts I have is guys like Dallas Goedert. I don't know if the Eagles are going to be any good, or if the new coach is even going to throw to the tight ends like they used to, right? I mean, Zach Ertz is not even a top player this year. He has contract issues. He wants to leave. He wants to be traded. So Noah Fant's a bust for me. I don't know. Blake Jarwin, we were both high on him last year, and he got injured, remember, for the year? Oh, that was brutal. Blake Jarwin could make some noise this year, but I can't trust him. I kind of like Cole Kmet with the Bears a little bit, too. So those are my thoughts, man.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and it is Hunter Henry, not Derrick Henry, who he's throwing to for the chart.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Right. And then, so number one, I have my top ones are going to be pretty similar, but number one, I have Travis Kelce, of course. Number two, I have George Kittle as well. Number three, I have Darren Waller. He's a beast. I just can't rank him no lower than a three. Number four, Kyle Pitts. I do like him a lot as well. I think he'd be one of the best rookies this year. He's going number 2 or 3 overall in almost all my dynasty drafts. Number four, Mark Andrews. I think he can rebound this year and have a good year. I'm sorry, number 5 was Mark Andrews. I think he could have a good year this year, though. T.J. Hawkinson, we already discussed him. Have him at number 6. Number 7, Noah Fant. They stand. The coach actually came out this week and said they're going to actually design plays just to get Fant the ball. So I do like that he said that, and I think he could actually have a big year. There was a lot of buzz with him back in last year too, but I think he actually puts up some numbers this year. Tyler Higbee at 8, Dallas Goedert at 9, Mike Gesicki at 10. Logan Thomas, I don't know if you mentioned him or not. I have him at 11. He had kind of a breakout year last year.
I am at 9. I had him at 9.
Okay. So, yeah, I like Logan Thomas this year. Bobby Tonyan, number 12. I probably got him a little too low, but I do like him as well. I think he, like you said, I think he can improve a little bit more this year and have a huge year this year. 13, Geno Smith. I think he's going to actually help the Patriots if Mac Jones does take over. He's going to be thrown to him and Hunter Henry a lot. Number 14, Irv Smith Jr. I like him a lot. He's one of my sleepers for this year. Him and Cole Kmet. I like both. Definitely like both of them. 2 young guys. And I think they can kind of have a breakout year this year. Number 15, Hunter Henry. I know they're going to have 2 tight ends there with the Patriots, but they did succeed with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez back in the day with 2 tight ends. So I think both of them could actually have some quite a few catches and targets, and they could actually both have nice years. So I do like both of them. And I do actually like Cook, too, what you were saying about him. I like him as well as a sleeper. I think he could have a nice year with the Chargers as well.
All right, man. Good stuff. Well, that really leaves just defense and kickers, and we're about out of time. But what I do want to say is that the only sleeper I have for defense is the Colts. I think the Colts defense is going to be a lot better than people think. Love Darius Leonard over there, obviously. And he's in the division. They're going to eat a lot of points from Jacksonville, and especially from Houston when they play them twice. So I think the Colts are kind of my sleeper defense, Dave.
I like it. And I think my top 3 defenses, I think, would be the Ravens at 1, Buccaneers at 2. They return I think they return all their starters, actually. Number 3, I have Pittsburgh. And my sleeper actually is New England. I think they added some key people on defense, and they have some nice young guys on defense too that I really like. So I think they could be a nice sleeper defense.
Oh, okay. I got the Rams number 1, Washington number 2, Colts number 3, Ravens, Tampa, San Fran, Pittsburgh. And then, yeah, it just kind of goes from there. We'll see. You might be right about New England there. But, playing the Bills, we'll see what happens. They at least get to hopefully beat on the Jets if the Jets don't improve. All right, man. And so for kickers, just pick a guy that, they score a lot of extra points at least. Field goals are hard to predict if they're going to get them or not. A lot of teams that are losing won't even go for field goals, and they go for it on 4th down. So just, get your Harrison Buttekers and your Justin Tuckers and, guys like that, right? If you really care, in my opinion. Awesome, Dave. Is that it then, man? So
that's all I had for tonight.
That's all I got. So next week we'll cover a rookie draft for dynasties. We'll talk a little bit about that and anything else that pops up. So thanks again for coming on, man. It's fantasy football season. I'm getting very excited, buddy.
I love it, man. I'm ready to go.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Dave. Thanks again. All right, everyone. If you have any questions about fantasy football, feel free to tweet us at the OddsBreakers. Have a great rest of your night, rest of your week, and go get some winners.